Here she comes, I yelled at the top of my voice to my siblings. Try as I might, I could not contain my excitement. I had been waiting for days for her to pick us. I had a strong feeling that it would finally be our turn that day. Everything about that day was perfect. A gentle breeze blew across the field. The sky stretched blue in all directions. A few fluffy white clouds smeared across the horizon. Yes, a perfect day indeed to begin a new journey. As she approached the field, all the flowers began swaying, trying to entice her, a tiny human whose loving breath would push us off towards unknown lands, to begin a new life, a family of our own. She stepped close to our flower and with a quick movement clipped us off the stem. See, did I not tell you all? Today is it, I yelped, half believing that my excitement alone would be enough to propel me away. Soft murmurs rose around me as my siblings said their goodbyes. Most were indifferent. This was simply a part of life for them. They could not bring themselves to care either way. Yes, goodbye, they said with drawn out sighs. Some could not hide their anxiety at leaving behind our large family and making it by themselves, announcing desperate pleas for their closest siblings to stick by them for their journey ahead, to not leave them alone. 39 and 84, you have to stick by me. Okay? Let's just entwine our hair together. That way we will always be together, 82 said through sobs and sniffles. And then there was me, Seed 106, ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Travel the world before I settle down with a family of my own. I wanted to go far, farther than any of us had gone before. I knew I would miss my siblings. There were no doubts about it. And I hoped that one day one of their children would be daring enough to reach my children, share news of their families with each other. But that day, all I could think about was a long, long journey. The girl raised us to her face, took a deep breath, and blew hard, pushing us off the flower and towards new destinations. I love you all. Send your children my way sometime, I yelled as I raced ahead, riding the warm breath of air upwards, twirling around to catch one final glimpse of the field where I grew. Most of my siblings were at a gust of wind near the ground, unconcerned, herded together in a single direction, but a few had gained momentum as well as height, including me and Seed 82. She wailed past me as a passing easterly zephyr pushed her in a different direction from us. See you, 82. Enjoy your travels, I said, to cheer her and give courage. As she disappeared in the distance, we continued riding the current of air towards a mountain range in the distance. Soon our field was a patch of green near the horizon. I was ready for my travels and nothing could bring me down. I was airborne for a long time, longer than I thought was possible. I had heard my mother tell us about her travels. Her sisters and her had traveled for 4 sunrises and 3 sunsets before settling down in our home field. She had described all she had seen, some of which she told us seemed so far-fetched at the time. Fields that stretched across the horizon, water flowing across them for miles. Then there were the large gray fields, with rocks as large as trees, birds as large as our tiny field, flying across the skies. It all seemed so surreal. I had already traveled for 3 sunrises, accompanied by one of my distant sisters, 231. She was from the evening side of our mother. She too was brimming with excitement, unrestrained, pointing out all that our expansive view had to offer. I was glad for her company in the long journey to our new home, to share the joy in seeing everything that we had only heard described till now. We were left in awe, spending sleepless nights just so that we would not miss anything. Even the waning moonlight was enough for us to observe the world below. The current we were riding had maintained a slow and steady pace for most of our travel. Occasionally we would have to adjust ourselves, so as not to drift apart too much. Light clouds provided respite from the sun's glare from time to time. In the night, we were greeted by a sky full of stars. Our third night was especially beautiful. The moon was absent from the sky. There was nothing to outshine the soft twinkle of the stars. 231 was beyond joy. She would not look down that night. Twirling around to see all around, she pointed out all the constellations to me that she had already known. Then the one she had never seen before from her side. "Oh, that one is so weird. It looks like a dog," she said. "I wonder if it knows the man on the other side." I tried really hard to see, but I could see neither the man nor the dog. In the end, simply nodding along, not wanting to bring her down. I looked down, but the moonless night had plunged the world into a solid darkness. I could barely make out some large shapes in the horizon, but nothing else. And that is when exhaustion finally caught up to me, and before I realized, I had dozed off in a deep sleep, while 231's excited outbursts faded away from my ears.